The boy who broke crypto. Some stories do not begin with darkness. Some begin with light so bright, the world believes a hero has arrived. This story begins with a young man named Sam Bankman-Fried, but most people called him SBF. He did not look like a villain from a movie. He looked like someone who forgot to comb his hair, who wore baggy shorts, and who always seemed too busy to care about anything except his ideas. He said he wanted to change the world. He said he would bring a better future, using something new and powerful, crypto. People loved him. Powerful people trusted him. And soon, he became one of the richest young men in the entire world. But child, remember this, even the brightest light can cast the darkest shadow. It would not be long before the world learned that the future he promised was not made of gold, but glass, and one day, that glass would shatter. Sam was born smart, very smart. His parents were law professors at a famous school. He grew up learning about logic, about ethics, about helping the world. He believed in something called effective altruism, the idea that a person should make as much money as possible, so they could give most of it away to help others. It sounded noble. It sounded pure. And in those early days, many believed it was true. He first worked on Wall Street. But he did not like the old way rich people behaved. He wanted something faster, something new, something that moved like lightning. So he entered crypto, a world full of mystery, dreams, and danger. And in 2019, he created FTX, a crypto exchange where people could buy and trade digital coins. FTX grew like wildfire. Investors poured billions into it. Everyone said, "Sam is a genius. He sees the future." But while they praised him, something else was growing, quietly in the shadows. Another company Sam owned, called Alameda Research, began working closely with FTX. Too closely. Money that should have stayed safe inside FTX accounts began to mix with Alameda's risky bets. And in secret, Sam and his closest team knew. They smiled on stages. They spoke about honesty and doing good. But they had already begun walking a dangerous road. Soon, the world believed Sam could do no wrong. He bought Super Bowl ads. He became friends with athletes and celebrities. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, big Hollywood stars, they all stood beside him. He donated to political campaigns. He sat with leaders in Washington. He looked like a young king, building an empire made of code and dreams. And his home? It was not a palace. It was a big apartment in the Bahamas, where he lived with friends and coworkers, people who believed in him, or feared him, or loved him in quiet, complicated ways. They worked late into the night. They played video games. They made plans to change the future. But somewhere inside that island home, in a room full of wires and screens and secrets, numbers stopped matching. Money was missing. Billions of dollars. But no one outside knew yet. The storm had begun forming, deep under calm waters. And when storms come, child, they do not always warn before they strike. The world loved Sam. But trust is a fragile thing. FTX grew so fast, and money moved so quickly, that some people began to whisper, "Is this too good to be true? Where is all the money coming from? Can anyone rise this fast without falling?" Still, most ignored the whispers. Success is loud. Doubt is quiet. And when people believe in a hero, they do not wish to see the cracks. But cracks do not wait for permission. And the truth was preparing to push through, like water pressing against a glass dam. Soon, the first piece would break. And when it did, the world would watch an empire fall, in real time. The world did not yet know it was standing at the edge of a cliff. But in the shadows, fate was already counting down. Tick. 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 Hope. It is a soft word but powerful. And in the world of money, hope can be dangerous. In the fall of 2022, people believed in Sam more than ever. The markets were shaking, crypto prices falling, and fear was spreading across the world. But Sam walked through the storm smiling, telling everyone that FTX was strong, a safe island in rough seas. He spoke like a teacher, calm and wise. He said things like, "Trust us," and "We are here to help the industry." People relaxed. They believed him because they wanted to believe. But behind closed doors, his team knew the truth. Alameda Research had lost huge amounts of money. And much of that money came from FTX customers, ordinary people who thought their savings were safe. Yet the numbers were hidden. The spreadsheets were adjusted. And every time someone asked, "Is everything okay?" the answer was always, "Yes. Everything is fine." But everything was not fine. On November 2, 2022, a small piece of truth escaped. A news report revealed that Alameda's finances were strange, built on tokens created by FTX itself. It was like a house holding itself up. The world gasped. Investors panicked. And like birds sensing a storm before humans do, crypto traders began to move. Then came the blow that shook everything. Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the world, announced it would sell its FTX tokens, worth hundreds of millions. It was like a king turning his back on another king. Why? People asked. What does Binance know? Fear spread fast, faster than fire on dry leaves. And when fear touches money, money runs. Customers rushed to withdraw their funds from FTX. They thought the company had billions ready. But when they opened the vault, nothing. It was dry. Billions were missing. Gone. Phone lines exploded. Emails poured in. Employees stared at each other, pale like ghosts. How did this happen? They whispered. Did Sam know? In the Bahamas penthouse, voices rose. Some cried. Some yelled. Some stared at walls, silent and shaking. The dream was collapsing. And once a dream starts falling, it does not fall slow, it falls like an avalanche. Sam tried to save his kingdom. He called investors. He called friends. He even asked Binance to buy FTX. For a brief moment, it looked like a miracle might happen. A letter was drafted. A deal seemed possible. But then Binance looked at the hidden numbers, the truth beneath the mask. And the deal died. Binance stepped away. And when they did, FTX fell like a tower with no base. The world learned that over $8 billion of customer funds were gone. Not lost in battles, not stolen in the night, moved and spent, hidden and used, all while the world cheered and believed. This was not a small mistake. This was not a tiny crack. This was a hole large enough to swallow dreams, savings, and trust forever. By November 11, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Sam stepped down as CEO. The empire had fallen. And millions watched as the once golden prince became a symbol of betrayal. In homes across the world, small investors wept. They had trusted Sam. They believed in him because the world told them to. But trust, once broken, leaves scars. In the Bahamas, Sam sat alone, his hair uncombed, his eyes heavy, his voice shaky. He said he was sorry. He said he never meant to hurt anyone. He said he made mistakes, but he was not a villain. Some believed him. Some hated him. Some did not know what to feel. But one truth was clear. A giant had fallen. And when giants fall, the ground shakes for a long, long time. Before a storm ends, there is always a calm, a strange silence where the heart does not yet understand what has happened. After FTX collapsed, the world stood still. People blinked confused. How could one of the largest crypto companies vanish like smoke? Investigators arrived. Lawyers prepared. Governments demanded answers. Inside dim rooms, behind closed doors, a new battle began, the battle for truth. They looked at bank records. They read private messages. They pulled apart code line by line. What they found was not simple. It was not clean. It was a maze of loans, secret backdoors and software, and messages full of casual jokes about billions, as if money were sand. Sam always said he meant well. He told everyone he wanted to save the world. But saving the world cannot be done with lies. People trusted him with their life savings. Parents who dreamed of buying homes. Students saving for school. workers putting away money for their future. And all of it, gone. When something like this happens, anger grows like fire. The public wanted answers. They wanted someone to blame, someone to punish. And in the middle stood Sam, no longer a hero, no longer a boy genius, just a young man in loose clothes, looking small and lost in the storm he created. As investigators dug deeper, they discovered a hidden door in FTX's system, a secret pathway where Alameda could take customer money without anyone knowing. Some called it fraud. Some called it theft. Some called it the biggest crypto disaster in history. But Sam said it was a mistake, a bad judgment, a failure to watch things closely. He insisted he never meant harm. He said he was just careless. But child, remember this. When you carry other people's trust, being careless can be as dangerous as being cruel. Behind the million-dollar words and fancy ideas, something simple had been broken: honesty. In the Bahamas, where sun usually shines bright, dark clouds gathered over the FTX mansion. Detectives visited. Reporters camped outside. Neighbors whispered. Friends who once stood beside Sam began to talk to investigators. Some said they were scared of him. Some said they felt trapped. Some admitted they knew things were wrong, but did nothing. And Sam, sitting alone in his room, moved chess pieces across a board, the game he always loved. But this time, he did not see a winning move. Because life is not like chess. You cannot restart the game when you lose. Soon, an arrest warrant came. Sam was taken into custody. Cameras flashed. Voices shouted. The story that once lifted him to the sky now dragged him into the deepest valley. Power is heavy, child. And when someone carries it without caution, it can crush them. The road to justice is long, and it is not always clear who is right and who is wrong at first glance. After his arrest, Sam was brought to the United States. There, he faced the weight of the legal system, a system built not on dreams or hopes, but on facts and rules. His parents, once proud, now walked with heavy steps. They sat in courtrooms, silent, watching their son face accusations that could take away the rest of his life. Prosecutors spoke loudly, confident and sharp. They painted a picture of greed and deception. They said Sam stole. They said he lied. They called it one of the largest financial frauds in history. Sam's lawyers defended him. They said he never meant to hurt anyone. They said he tried his best. They said he was overwhelmed, not evil. But intentions do not return lost money. Intentions do not heal broken trust. And in the courtroom, truth does not care about excuses. Witness after witness spoke. Former friends. Former coworkers. People who once believed in him now spoke about secrets, lies, and strange decisions. Some cried. Some trembled. Some looked at Sam with eyes full of sadness, not hatred, but disappointment. Because betrayal is not always loud and dramatic. Sometimes it is a quiet breaking, like glass cracking inside a box where no one sees until it is too late. Outside the courtroom, the world argued. Was Sam a villain? Was he just foolish? Did he plan everything? Or did he lose control? But one fact stood above all the noise. Billions of dollars were gone. Lives were changed forever. And no excuse, no speech, could undo that. During the trial, Sam seemed to shrink. His wild hair, once charming to some, now looked messy in a painful way. His voice sounded unsure. He fidgeted. He explained. He apologized. But the courtroom is not a place for sympathy. It is a place for truth. And truth cuts deep. After weeks of testimony, arguments, and evidence, the jury returned their decision. Guilty. On multiple counts, including fraud and conspiracy. The young billionaire, the boy genius, the crypto hero, fell. And the world watched, many with anger, many with sadness, some with quiet disbelief. Because few stories rise so high. And even fewer fall so far. Now we arrive at the part of the story that is not loud. It is not full of headlines or shouting voices. It is quiet. And sometimes, quiet moments are the heaviest. Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced to decades in prison. The once famous empire he built now exists only in broken pieces. A warning for the future, a story parents might tell their children when teaching the meaning of trust. Some still argue about him. Some say he had good intentions but lost his way. Others say he always knew what he was doing. But intentions are wind. Consequences are stone. And the stones of this story will sit heavy for many years. So what do we learn from this tale? We learn that brilliance without honesty is dangerous. We learn that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. We learn that heroes can become villains, and villains can begin as dreamers. But most of all, we learn that power, in money, in influence, in fame, can blind even the smartest hearts if they forget who they serve. Sam once said he wanted to save the world. But to save the world, one must first tell the truth. And truth was the one thing missing when FTX fell. The world still heals. Victims rebuild. New leaders rise, and the future continues to unfold. Crypto did not die. But innocence in that world changed forever. And there, in a quiet prison cell, sits a young man who once held billions, now holding only time. And time, child, is the one currency that never returns once spent. This story is not just about money. It is about dreams, choices, and the thin line between good intentions and harm. If someone tells you they will change the world, listen carefully. Look not only at their words, but at their actions. For a good heart shines not in promises, but in truth. And this, dear listener, is the tale of the rise and fall of Sam Bankman-Fried. May we remember it. And may we learn. If you found this story fascinating, hit that like button, subscribe for more true finance stories, and let me know in the comments.